tell me where we're going.
I'd like to tell you where to go, but I always do what my Aunt Vicky says do.
I'm glad. You're a wonderful niece.
Oh, can it if I had my choice?
You'd put me on that road. Sam! What's your problem with me?
That's a good question.
No, I'm serious. I needed a job. I like this one. Sports is my thing. You seem to think I've done you dirt.
Look, I'm used to hiring my own people. I don't like a new reporter pushed into the middle of my operation, especially when...
Especially when? What? If we're going to get along, we have to clear the air.
All right. Okay. Especially when the only reason I got saddled with you in the first place is because you're an old flame of Rena's.
That flame burned out a long time ago.
Look, I couldn't care less. If I piled all of Rena's old flames in a heap, it'd look like the Chicago fire. But that does not entitle you to a job in my operation.
Things weren't quite that simple.
Okay, all right. Where have you worked? Where have you done sports? Newspaper? Radio?
I've never done this.
Okay. So here you come, Mr. Sports Reporter. I have kids who have worked years and never even seen the other side of a camera.
I'm not a kid.
No, you're not. You're my new sports reporter. Come on.
You're really hung up on this. You're not going to let it go.
I'm not going to bug you. At least not if you can do your job. But it really hits me hard. There goes Rena, flitting from place to place, remaking everyone's world. So good when she was out of Houston. Or maybe you didn't think so.
I wasn't here. I haven't been here in a long time.
Well, welcome back to Rena's playpen. Come on.
What are we going to do?
Oh, didn't I tell you? You are going to narrate the Harris County stock car races.
You're kidding.
Oh, no, that's the first one out of the bag for you, Mr. Sports Reporter. But I'm sure you know everything there is to know about auto racing.
Well, nobody knows everything.
I just bet they know. You ready?
What can I say, boss? I guess I'll just have to do my very best.
Mr. Wheeler, what are you doing in my father's house? Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out!
Calm down. Come on.
Did you come to pick the bones? That's it, isn't it? You want to make sure there's no trace that Mike Marshall ever existed.
Dawn.
Oh, don't you see, Dennis? The great Alex Wheeler can't stand for there to be any reminder that my father was a bigger man than him. Well, Mike Marshall will always be a bigger man than you. You...
Mike Marshall's house?
Dawn, I'm sorry you feel this way. We'll go. Come on, Iris. We'll see the rest later.
What did you want here anyways? Can't you just leave us alone?
Come on, Dawn, you're just upsetting yourself.
Wasn't his death enough for you? Can't you just leave us alone now?
Oh, Dawn, listen to yourself. I understand your grief, but you're not making sense.
I'm not? Well, just look around. What's left? What else do you want, Mr. Wheeler? The nails from the walls? The air he breathed? The blood?
All right, let's go.
Mom, what are you doing in Mike Marshall's house anyway?
This is your son? This is Dennis?
That's right. I guess I don't have to ask who you are, do I? Nobody else could make her act like this.
Son, you just walked through the last act of a tragedy. You can't judge by what you've seen. You don't know what happened.
Listen, if you think you can bully me around the way you bully everyone else, then you can just forget.
Dennis, how can you? Can't you see that Alex... Darling, excuse us for a moment. I want to speak to Dennis and talk.
If you think that will change things.
Well, congratulations. I see you have some control over the beast.
I'm sorry if our appearance here has so terribly disturbed you, Tom. It wasn't his intention or mine, I assure you. I didn't even realize this was Mike's house.
Then why did he bring you here?
He wanted to make this house a gift to me.
He wants to buy my father's house? No. No, never. I'll see him dead first.
Mom, you can't really be considering accepting such a gift from him.
I know that some people do hold Alex responsible for Mike's breakdown. But that is based simply on the fact that Mike owed Alex's company millions of dollars. Not on anything Alex did to hurt your father.
Then maybe you haven't heard the whole story. Alex promised to meet Daddy at Vicky Bellman's party. But when Daddy went there to find him, Alex was gone. Daddy looked all over for him, but Alex had left. He was probably off somewhere laughing at how badly he'd humiliated Daddy.
No, surely not.
And then Daddy just gave up. It broke him. It was one humiliation too many. And he went home.
Dawn, I was there that night, but I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't see Alex. Victoria didn't understand what happened either, but I'm sure Alex can explain. That's it, I'll call him.
No, don't bother.
But perhaps he can make
It wouldn't matter. He can explain it till hell freezes over, and it still wouldn't change what I know. I never want to see Alex Wheeler again as long as I live. And I never want to hear his excuses. You can stay if you want to, since it seems to matter to your mother. But I'm leaving.
Oh, Dennis, please, wait. It is very important to me that you and Alex come to understand one another. You don't know. You really just don't understand him yet.
I think I understand him, Mom. More than I have to.
Dennis, please. No, Brian, don't leave me. I'm desperate and I don't have anyone else to turn to.
You could turn to Alex.
No, I can't tell him. Please help me.
I'm trying to. But so far, all I've gathered is there's something Alex doesn't know, and whatever it is, it's keeping you apart.
That's true.
Well, what is it?
It's Dennis.
Dennis? You mean Alex doesn't know you have a son?
No, he knows Dennis is my son. What he doesn't know is that Dennis is his son, too. Oh, heavens. How can I tell them? after all this.
Baby sister.
Did you think we weren't coming?
Of course not. I knew you'd be.
Look here, Nita. We even got decent tires on this thing.
Well, I like this car. It's real pretty. Well, for a car, that is. Well, not that I know much about cars. Billy Joe can tell you that. I guess I get it from my daddy. He was a traveling man, you know. And he used to say, the only thing you can say about a car is it'll get you there or it won't. The rest is what he would call just
Hooey.
a lot of...
That was your old man's favorite word.
Well, golly, look at all these decorations. Reminds me of those old-time ice cream trucks. You remember those, Billy Joe?
That's it, ice cream trucks. That's what you ought to take up driving. Now, they'd be a little closer to your speed, now, wouldn't they?
Man, you're really something.
Yep.
Didn't you learn anything from your little vacation in Huntsville?
Yeah, I learned some real handy tricks. You want to try me, huh?
I won't have you fighting, Billy Joe.
This won't take long, darling.
Won't take but a second.
Now stop it, both of you. Billy Joe, let's go to the stands and find ourselves
Find
some
your own
seats.
seat. Oh, what the hell? Feel your own self, Clapper. I'll be watching.
I'm real sorry. I guess the bus ride made him all edgy. It was so long and hot. Well, anyway, you have a good ride. And all the luck in the world, you hear?
Yeah, thanks, Nita.
That goes double for me, Ricky. Even if I do make fun of your car sometimes. I don't know how you do it, but you manage to work for the sheriff and do this too. You really deserve to win.
Yeah, well, it's too bad you don't win a race just for deserving to. I guess the big prize always goes to the fella who gets there first.
Understand it. You get along just fine with other folks. Why can't you get along with Ricky? He's a real nice person.
Nita, he's no person. He's a cop. I spent 3 lousy years in that Huntsville prison, and there was a screw there looked and talked just like you. Thinks he's God's gift to the world.
Just because he looks like someone else?
Cops are cops, baby. Wish I could have had a few minutes under that hood. Boy, I'd give these blood freaks a run for their money. For sure.
Billy Joe.
Yeah, I was just kidding, okay? Now pipe down, the warm-ups are starting.
Up a little bit, too. Right. 3, mark your spot and get to the pit under the south bleachers. We're going to do a driver interview. I'll meet you there in 5 minutes.
That's interesting. I didn't know that cameramen did interviews as well.
They don't. They just do the taping.
Oh, and you do the regular question and answer business, huh?
Not on your life. I am the producer, the director, and the chief babysitter.
Lou?
No way. Lou has to stay here and prepare the narration, in case you get stuck on the air.
Me?
You.
Wait a minute. You're not going to start him on camera his first day here, are you?
Oh,
not to worry, Lou. Not even a day's experience, but he doesn't need it. He knows a lot about sports. Isn't that right? And besides, he's terrific. He told me so himself. Come on, Mr. Terrific. Let's go find a contender for you to interview.
Whatever you say, boss.
They've left?
Yes.
How are you feeling?
Tired. Confused.
I should have known. But I thought... I had high hopes for this day when it started. Now it's all been ruined.
Oh, Alex, that child.
It's my fault. I should have known the state of things. You see, I had Stryker negotiating to buy the house for you. And his office had made excellent progress with the family. And I thought that the entire thing had been formulated, completed. But you see, Kate Marshall hadn't talked about the matter with Dawn yet.
Dawn's reaction isn't the worst of it. She has obviously already managed to infect Dennis with this prejudice she has against you.
I saw.
Dennis can be so stubborn when he thinks he has the truth in his hands. He's seeing the world through Dawn's eyes, and that's awful. For him, for us.
What he feels about Dawn is understandable. Maybe I don't know much about parents and children. But perhaps you can talk with him and give him a different point of view about me. After all, his heart can't be so set in stone against me as Dawn's.
To do that, Alex, there is something I will need to know. If I don't understand it, I will never be able to make Dennis understand it.
Just ask. I won't hold any secrets from you.
That night at Vicky's party, what happened? Why didn't you meet with Mike Marshall as you said you would? I mean, if it weren't for that incident, no one could even think of blaming you for the fact that he shot himself that same night. Why didn't you stay, talk to Mike?
It was perhaps childish, in retrospect. But suddenly you showed up, and...
Oh, no.
I just wasn't ready to meet you then and there. Not that way.
Oh, Alex.
I know it does seem foolish. But I got that same feeling that overtook me at the opera. I saw you, and my heart started pounding. All I could think to do was run, and to try to assimilate the fact that you were suddenly real and not a dream anymore.
Well, I should have thought you'd have gotten over the shock by then. After all, you saw me at the opera. You sent me the iris in that lovely vase. Alex, was that really your only reason for leaving?
Oh, Iris. I didn't mean to hurt Mike, to slight him in the least. It had nothing to do with him. But I left the party and I was unstrung, blind. I didn't even remember I was supposed to see Mike. Please, believe me.
What is this big thing?
That's my new air filter.
Oh.
Hey, I can't
Are
believe...
you Ricky Decker?
Sure. Can I help you folks?
I'm Justin Marshall, and this is Samantha Walker. We are from KBIK TV Sports.
Hi.
Hi. That's where I must have met you before.
Yes, yes. If you have a moment, we'd like to interview you.
Okay.
All right. How about we set up over here and use the car as a nice background for a two-shot? Okay? Can we just do it with Mr. Decker? Okay. Mr. Decker, can you close your hood? How about you sit on your hood? Is that all right?
Sure.
Okay, I think that looks great.
Hey, look over there. They're interviewing Ricky for the TV. Oh, I bet you'll be on tonight. Remind me to tell Maggie, what station is that?
JRK, I reckon. Remind me. I don't want to watch the news tonight.
Oh, Billy Joe, what's wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong at all. I just don't want to see that roach's face on my TV set. If I can help it.
You're running a very unusual 3/4 mile opening race today, Ricky. Now, your best time for a flat quarter mile is 8.2. How do you think that the race will be affected by this extra distance?
Oh, it'll separate us out for sure. Man, I'm worried about in the stretch, though, is old Sonny Dunham. I hear he's got his rig up to 13 gears.
13?
That's what I hear.
Well, even so, past 6, don't you equal out in RPMs?
You know I do, Justin. Man, I can't keep playing. I know for a fact anybody watching would rather hear what you got to say than me. Come on, I'll interview you.
Hold it, cut. I don't get it. What are you talking about?
I'm just speaking for myself, but Justin here's always been my hero.
Your hero?
Well, yeah, he's one of the top racing drivers in the world, lady. Didn't you know that? Didn't you ever hear of Justin Marshall?
I feel so good. I'm just going to pretend you're not following.
Woman, can't you do anything right?
As a matter of fact, I can do everything right. Oh, silly me. There's nobody here talking to myself.
Did you take a look at that thermometer before you went gallivanting out there?
Why? Everyone can see that it's hot.
Don't you got more sense than to ride Lady Gray in the ground the hottest part of the day?
Oh, it wasn't that hot.
Oh, not for you, it wasn't. You weren't doing any of the work. But you banged Lady around like it was a crisp October morning. So when he didn't kill her.
I can take care of my own horse, thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to Kate about taking Lady back from you.
You can't do that.
And you can't do what you just did. That horse is so lathered and weak at the knees, it's one I don't have to...
I'm not going to listen to you anymore. You're not going to spoil my day again. I felt like running, that's all. I felt like going as fast as I could so not a single bad vibration in the whole world could touch me. And it didn't, not until I got back here anyway.
Like 2 peas in a pod.
What?
You and Justin. No one of you two used to get on so good together. Can't read the speed limit. Wouldn't care if you could. Ain't got concern for a thing outside yourselves. All the other critters around you be damned.
If I wanted analysis, I'd go see a shrink.
Laws weren't made for you, eh, babe? When you want something, you just go and get it. Even if you have to ride the whole world down on the way there.
That's right, honey. You're talking like there's a better way to live. Do you know of one offhand?
You're damn right.
Well, suppose you tell me about it. What do you do when you want something? I bet you just go find yourself a quiet little corner and pray your little old heart out.
I guess you could say that's what I do. And if it's a good crop I'm praying for, I go and plant it. And if it's a fine colt, I pick and choose. Make sure its mama's been bred right. And if it's a woman, that's what I do.
Dad!
If I wanted her.
Oh! You come right back here this minute!
Sorry, I got a more important female to see right now. That mare you just about killed.
Oh, you!
You're just gonna have to wait your turn.
Oh! 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 Oh!
Well, that takes care of the auction. Now you can move on. Start thinking about what's ahead instead of looking at what's behind you.
Will you be moving on too, Dennis? Leaving town now that you've done your duty?
What? No, I don't have any plans to go anywhere.
Oh? Well, then maybe you could find a big job at World Oil Transport. I'm sure your mother could arrange it.
No. Actually, I was hoping that I could buy the Western Art Gallery.
Buy Western art? But you never said anything.
I've been so busy with the auction and everything else that I haven't had time to look into it. And I didn't want to say anything until I knew if it was a possibility or not.
You mean...
How would you feel about working for me? Now, I warn you, I'm serious. I expect 100% from my employees.
You aren't kidding, are you?
100%. Or nothing.
Oh, Dennis, I'd give you 150%. And I'd throw in weekends. Then you won't be leaving town?
No way. And I'm certainly not going to leave you. Absolutely no way. Besides, the great state of Texas needs me, you know.
Oh, it really does.
And even if the state of Texas could get by without me, I'm not going to give it a chance to. Because I have a feeling this is where I belong. Where I've always wanted to be.
You could do worse.
Yeah, I could do worse.
Then you won't be leaving me?
Without you, I wouldn't be anything. Or anywhere. I'd be like a man lost in the desert. That's what I'd be like. I'm with you now. And I'll be with you forever.
Black, huh?
You have a wonderful memory.
Hardly.
You must. I don't think I've been here since...
Not since Courtney brought you out here to Christmas dinner. So, tell me about this new idea of yours to buy the Western Art Gallery. You said you were going into private practice.
Yeah. I've decided to specialize in people instead of gadgets. The gallery gave me a good location.
Well, sounds like a good idea to me. After all, Dawn is too young and too inexperienced to hope to keep the place going without Michael's money to back her. I'd be very glad to help a nice young man like you. The world needs more people, doctors. Now, does this mean you're going to leave the hospital staff altogether?
Except for consultations.
Does that mean you and Courtney won't be working together anymore? I hope not.
Just about. I did ask her to go into practice with me as my partner. But she has other plans. She's going to work with Kevin Cook on his new postdoctoral surgical program.
You sound like you don't think she ought to be a surgeon.
Oh, no. It's not that. I think surgery's her calling. I just don't think she ought to train for it under Kevin Cook.
I've always heard that Kevin Cook was a fine surgeon.
He is.
Then why don't you think Courtney should study under him?
I didn't really want to get into this.
Well, but since you have.
Since I have. Well, it's not Kevin's medical abilities that's the problem. It's... Well, it's that he and Courtney...
Kate?
Oh, Rena, did you enjoy your ride, honey?
Almost. Kate, I have never been so insulted, so...
Rena, dear, I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about.
Honey, the ride was wonderful. Lady Gray is such a sweetheart, and riding her was like breathing clear again. I felt so good and clear-headed, and... Oh, when I got back to that stable...
What happened when you got back?
Kate, all I can say is that I think that maybe I'm going to have to move my horse somewhere else.
Is that necessary? After all, this is Lady Gray's home.
Honey, I hate to do it, but it's a matter of self-preservation. I'd like to keep her somewhere where I feel safe.
Safe? Why, it's safe here, especially with Max around.
Safe from exactly that common cowboy in his insolent mouth. I have never met anyone as rude as your foreman. I have never been treated by anyone the way he treats me. So patronizingly, like I was a child or something. Well, I'm just not going to put up with it.
But Rena...
And you can't talk me out of it either.
Rena, I would have thought that the way you and Kevin feud, you could take any hard words a man might dish out.
Kevin never treated me that way.
He didn't?
No, there's all the difference in the world. Kevin can be sullen and grouchy, but that's just the way men are. Maybe even when he was that way, I could handle him. I could usually get him to do anything I wanted, like moving to Houston, for example. But this Max, whatever his name is...
Now, Rena, you know very well his name is Decker.
Rena, did it ever occur to you that Kevin might have another reason for wanting to stay in Houston?
Another reason?
Besides your wanting him to?
No, that never occurred to me. What kind of a reason were you thinking about?
Like,
cousin?
for instance... Never mind. Kate, I'm going to be going now.
Well, I'll get in touch with you right away if I get any more information on the gallery property.
Thanks a lot. I'll see you, Rena.
Bye, Bart.
Rena, I'll talk to Max for you. I'll ask him to go a mite easier on you. After all, he does have him a streak of righteousness. But all in all, he's as good a man as the Lord ever dropped into a pair of boots. Rena.
You know what, Kate?
You'll leave Lady Gray.
The more I think about it, the more I think little old cousin Bart was trying to send me a message.
Huh?
Yeah, I think that's it. He's seen something, maybe. Something going on at the hospital between my husband and somebody.
I don't know about that.
Neither do I, but I mean to find out, come hell or high water. If there's some squatter trying to move in on my property, I better get in and look the situation over before some claims get staked. See you in a little while, honey.
Take care, Rena.
I'm not the one that's going to need it. Ta-ta.
Feeling better?
Of course. I always feel good when you hold me. Your arms are kind of like a home for me. I feel good in them. Safe and reassured. Can I have them back for a minute? Nice.
You know, I'd like to hold you right there all night. But there are some odds and ends to look into back at the house.
Oh, Dennis.
Now,
no.
relax. I'll take care of all of it. You've done your part, more than your part. Besides, it's my job anyway, right?
Only because you're good enough to do it.
Anyway, it's time for you to get back to the ranch, isn't it?
Yes. I suppose I have to.
Okay. What's the matter?
Well, the ranch is where I spent my childhood. I used to look so forward to going out there. I'd pack my bags 3 days early when we'd go out to spend the weekend, and I could hardly wait. But, well, now I'm grown. I wish I could stay here with you.
Listen, you may think you're grown, but you better get back to that ranch, or your grandmother's going to be very upset. With both of us.
You're right. But
enough has happened today. Now you get home. Get some rest. Go on, get.
I love you.
Let me just shake your hand, partner. I had no idea that, well, I mean, we didn't know that you were the Justin Marshall.
I was.
Welcome to the KVIK sports team. We're sure proud to have you.
Thanks.
Sam, what's going on around here? Why didn't you tell everybody about this coup of yours?
Oh, I had a very good reason.
I got it. Didn't want to tip off the competition ahead of time, right? Very smart. Justin Marshall. You know what? You're going to give this operation just what it needs. A nice little touch of class.
All right, superstar. Let's see if you can burn up the tracks on a TV tape. And since you're our entree into class, I'm going to let you narrate this race. Ready?
racing fans and all you sportsmen out there on this fine, hot summer day. This afternoon, we're bringing you the Harris County Devils Invitational Stock Car Races, and we've got a great racing card on for your viewing pleasure. But first, let me tell you about a little surprise from KVIK to you. I want to introduce my new colleague who's joined us just in time to do the honors in today's races. And fans, he's none other than Houston's own Justin Marshall. That's right, winner of this very race some 10 years ago, and one of the truly world-class drivers of the decade. Here he is, Justin Marshall.
And good afternoon,
Listen up in the crowd a bit, Joe. Yeah, that's good. Okay, when the race starts, camera 3, I want you to cover the field. Just pick up anything that looks interesting. If there's a wreck, 1 and 2, I want you to pick up anything that gives you a good angle. Okay. How are your readings, Jake?
Beautiful. Couldn't be better.
Okay, great. All right, boys, let's do it one more time.
Racing fans have been waiting for all year. The 1980 Harris County Devils Invitational Stock Car Races. This is your announcer, Lou Bledsoe, bringing you all the action live on KVIK TV. And today, as I've told you, we have with us one of the truly great drivers of our time, Justin Marshall. Picked as Driver of the Year in 1979, he just signed on with the Victory Network. Justin, let me welcome you again to the KVIK sports team.
Well, thanks, Lou. It's good to be working at KVIK, and it's good to be back in Harris County.
Well, that's right. You copped first place in the Devils Invitational, 10 years ago, right? And you kept right on going, too, into Formula One racing. What were you, 3 points from being the #1 international driver last year?
2.
2 points from the top, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I reckon these old dirt tracks look pretty tame to you now,
No way, Lou. I tell you the truth, there's no crowd better than the stock car racing crowd, and there's no thrill bigger than taking home that silver cup. I don't care if it's Grand Prix or Le Mans or whatever. I don't think I've had a better thrill than I did the day that I won that race right here.
Well, there you have it, folks. A real testimonial to the skill, daring, and plain old guts of the stock car races. Justin, we're mighty glad to have you back in Texas, and we hope you're just as glad to be back with your old fans.
Well, you'd have to be crazy not to be glad to be back in Texas.
You're right about that, partner. And now let's have a word from those good folks that bottle Wolf River beer. Remember, when the wolf howls, give him Wolf River beer. Ow! You ever drink any of that stuff?
No.
They should pour it back into the wolf.
Hey, hey, boss lady.
Yes?
How did I do?
Okay.
Just okay?
All right. You did very well, and you know it. So keep your mind on your work and off me.
I'll try, Sam. I'll try real hard.
Why?
Here, let me give you a hand. Right over here, come on.
Whoa! Billy Joe, be careful. Almost knocked me over. I think you've had enough of that beer.
Hey, I was just trying to help a little, that's all.
Thanks, but next time I'll just help myself. Who's ahead? Is it Ricky?
Yeah, and it's really close. Sonny Dunham's been hit twice. But every time Ricky's pulled past him again.
Where is he? There's so much dust.
It's not the dust that bothers me, it's the heat. I haven't been this hot since
Since that night in Phoenix, it took us till 3 in the morning to find a hotel room.
Oh, honey.
I think I just felt the temperature drop, Lou. Whoops.
Still don't see Ricky's car.
There he is, number 22. You see him right there? He's in the lead.
Not for long, though. Dunham's pulling up on him. Go, Sonny! Go, you son of a...
Why are you rooting for Sonny Dunham?
Yeah, but, well, since he's your brother, I'll make an exception, okay? I mean, next time they come around, I'll give a yell for them. I mean, for Ricky, okay? We can do it together, okay?
Okay.
Okie doke.
Why don't you just cool it, Billy Joe?
You know what you need? You need one of these here cold beers they're selling, you know that? I mean, as warm as it is, this might melt you down a little.
That is not a very nice thing to say.
What we have here is a basic party cooler, you know? Let her sit and sweat. Okay, I'll get you a beer, me a beer. Maybe I'll get you a beer, too.
Okay. Billy Joe, forget it. I don't want one.
Make that 2 party coolers.
Go, come, Ricky, go! That's great, boy. He's really tearing up that track, ain't he, Lane? I'll tell you.
Terry.
Maybe you'd better sit on the other side of me, Elena.
Terry, you're not my mother or anything, okay? I mean, we were just rooting for Ricky. Well, the family's got to stick together, doesn't it?
I'm afraid I'm not part of this family, though.
Thank heavens. Well, you're sort of like an honorary member or something, you know? I mean, Aunt Mag has practically adopted Nita, and since you're married to Nita, that kind of makes you like a cousin.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. I kind of like the sound of that, you know? Sort of a kissing cousin, right? Mm-hmm. Well, can I try out the name then? Cousin?
She said no.
Oh, Billy Joe. You always spoil everything.
Keep your eye on car 12 and 22. Sonny Dunham is the defending champion, but it looks like he may lose out to Ricky Decker of Marshall County.
Thanks, Justin. Let me just go through those top 10 cars again for you. In the lead, Ricky Decker, driving car number 22, followed very closely by Sonny Dunham. And Joe Perlman is moving up closely on the outside, and Ed Gernsley is making a move on.
How about sharing some of that coffee, boss?
I don't see why I should, since you didn't share anything with me.
Who, me?
Yes, you, rat think. You know, you could have told me about this whole thing. I mean, you didn't have to let me make a complete fool out of myself. How do you think I felt? There I am, producer of KVIK TV Sports, and I didn't even recognize an international racing car star?
Come on, Sam, what do you want me to come on like Mr. Macho?
Well...
Hey, babe, I crunch up sports cars and spit out the spokes for breakfast. When they see me coming at Le Mans, they run and hide. I'm Justin Marshall, king of the road.
Hey, Sam.
Sorry. Marshall? Damn it, were you sent into my life just to make me mess up?
I was sent into your life by one of the smartest ladies in Houston. Vicki Bellman. She knows we're in a ratings war, and she knows what makes those viewers turn that dial.
I thought you got the job.
Because you thought I was one of Rena's old flames. Well, that spark has had time to settle. I mean, it's been 10 years. Although there may be a few smoldering embers lying about.
Look, I couldn't care less about you or Rena or any leftover campfires.
Oh, I thought a little Girl Scout like you would be interested in dousing a few flames.
Not for love or money. And speaking of money...
I'd better go earn mine, right?
Uh-huh.
And not before I make you admit how I've made your life a little richer, a little fuller.
Richer and fuller?
And for a guy that you thought didn't know the difference between a camshaft and a carburetor, I do have some hidden qualities.
Well hidden. But they're there.
You ain't seen nothing yet, babe.
Get back to work.
This is your sports station, KVIK TV. Justin Marshall and Lou Bledsoe here, narrating the action for the racing fans at home as well as those here at the track for the 1980 Harris County Stock Car Races.
$149 for that little bit of hay? Well, that's not right. I'm going to have to speak to Max about that. And wait for a check from Pretty Boy sale before I'll be able to pay any of these. Come in.
Hello, Mrs. Marshall.
Mr. Connor. You're heaven sent. Sparing me from looking at all these bills here today.
Well, I think I can do more than that. I got my uncle to agree to that deal we were talking about the other day.
The one that would free the ranch from the rest of Michael's estate?
Mm-hmm. Alex agreed to a quitclaim on all ranch property. Now, that'll be partial payment on the River Oaks house.
I was right, Mr. Connor. You are heaven sent. I'll bet you were sent down from heaven in a chariot to bring me that news.
Huh? Oh, ma'am, just a helicopter.
Well, thank you, Mr. Connor. You're a fine young man. I don't care what anybody says.
Thank you, ma'am.
I just want to tell you how sorry I am for Dawn's little upset the other night.
Oh, that's all right, Mrs. Marshall. I understand. It was just pretty bad timing on my part.
Well, I know you didn't bring that briefcase to carry your lunch. Where are the papers? There's always some form or other.
Absolutely. Now, if you will just sign right here. And right here.
Are there any more right here?
No, ma'am, that's it. Now I'll have to get the other heirs to sign. Is Ginny around?
Oh, she's down at the stables. I'll get her.
If you don't mind, I'll go down there and see her myself. I'll save you the trip.
Well, now, that's very nice of you to save me a few steps. You just go right on
What's
down there.
he doing here, Grandma? Still trying to buy Daddy's house? Alex Wheeler's flunky?
Now, just a minute,
Oh,
Miss
don't try to
Marshall.
deny it. I saw your boss. He was in Daddy's house. Our house. He just couldn't wait until it was legally his. He tipped his hand.
Alex didn't mean to deceive anybody.
Oh, didn't he? Well, then why did he send you? Why didn't he make the offer himself? Or is he incapable of doing anything that's honest and above board?
He made the offer through Stryker because he thought it was best for the family. He's trying to help
Best for
them.
the family? Oh, how can you lie like that? Alex Wheeler doesn't care about the Marshalls. He's sitting up there at the top of the world building like a vulture, just waiting for the next one of the Marshalls to show some weakness.
That's not true.
A liar. Grandma, tell him to get off of our property.
I'll do no such thing. Now, I've heard just about enough out of you, Dawn. Now, you calm down and listen to me.
Oh, but Grandma, you don't know. This man never told you. Alex Wheeler is the one that wants to buy our house.
I know that.
You know? And you'd sell it to Alex Wheeler? You'd let Alex Wheeler have our home?
Home. That big pile of bricks in town. That was never a home, not for the Marshalls.
You'd let Alex Wheeler have it?
If the price was right, and it would help us keep our land, yes, I would. I'd sell it to the devil himself.
Well, that's just what you're doing.
Hold your tongue, girl. Alex Wheeler's no kind of devil I know of.
Oh, no? Well, then why'd he force Daddy into bankruptcy? Why'd you drive him to
Now, you just be quiet. I knew Alex Wheeler long before you were ever born, you hear? He was a hard driver then, but he was a straight shooter, too. And I don't know that he's changed that much since.
I can't believe what you're saying.
Well, I'm saying the truth, and it's time you heard it. Now, Mr. Connor here has taken a lot of time and trouble to get us a quit claim on your father's share of the ranch in exchange for the house. I've signed the papers accepting his offer.
You signed? No!
I'm sorry, Mrs. Marshall. I didn't mean for it to turn into a shouting match. I just couldn't stand hearing my uncle run down like that.
It's all right. It's not your fault.
I wish I could convince Dawn that she's wrong.
You leave that to us. Now you go on down and see Ginny. Don't worry. All of this will come straight with a little time.
Rena Cook.
Oh. What did she do? Say some disparaging remarks about the ranch or something?
She made disparaging remarks about everything she laid eyes on. The ranch, the stables, the horses, me.
Well, that's Rena. Please don't be so upset about it. It's not worth it.
Ah, that's not what makes me mad. She comes out here in the middle of the day with Mercury just about busting out the top of the thermometer and rides Lady Grey darn near into the ground.
Oh, that is bad.
Bad? It starts staring crazy that a horse looks like it ran through a barber shop. It's so laddered up.
Well, didn't Rena rub her down?
Rub her down? You got city girl with soil in her hands and might chip her nail polish. Thought she was supposed to know something about horses anyway.
Well, she doesn't.
What was she doing at the horse show? I thought she won all them prizes.
Well, Rena rides beautifully, but I don't think she considers horses living things. I mean, to her, they're just like machines, like a car. You use it, forget it.
Well, I know you can destroy a car like that, and for sure you can kill a horse. I bet she never laid eyes on a car that you could feed an apple and get some affection from.
You really love horses, don't you, Max?
They're living things. And they're better than most people.
Listen, why don't you take it easy, and I'll go take care of Lady Grey, okay?
No, wait, Jenny. I saw the lady just as soon as that empty-headed woman left, but, thanks anyway.
Max.
I didn't mean anything, Jenny.
I know. Please. Can't we just forget about it?
No, let's not forget about it. I care about you, Ginny. I've told you that.
Can't we go on just being friends, Max?
I don't want to lose you as a friend. I don't want you jumping every time we touch. With time, I'd like to go beyond that.
Max, I can't do that. You were Barrett's best friend. You know how I felt about him? How I still feel.
Like you're still married.
Yes.
Jenny, I love Barrett like a brother. He was the best of us. Good friend, good soldier. But you gotta face facts.
Jenny, where are you?
I'm in here, Ryan.
This place is getting to be like a suburb of Houston. Everybody always coming in, riding the horses half to death or scaring the hell out of them with their choppers.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, Max. How you doing?
Hi, Ryan. I'm just great. Excuse me, I got some work to do.
What's the matter with him?
Oh, nothing. It's a long story.
First Dawn and now Max. I just don't seem to be hitting it off too well with the Deckers or the Marshalls, do I?
Well, not all the Marshalls.
Good.
Because I have some news that ought to make everybody happy.
Ryan, is it about the ranch?
Mm-hmm. Alex has agreed to a quitclaim. Now, I've got his signature, and I've got Mrs. Marshall's signature on the dotted line.
Such wonderful news!
And if you sign for Steve, then I'll have half the Marshall heirs. What is it?
Why should I sign for Steve?
Because he's the legal heir now that Barrett's gone. Come on, you know that.
It's Barrett's inheritance, not Stephen's.
You mean you haven't cleared that up? Look, Jenny, all you have to do is request from the Department of Defense an affidavit stating that Barrett's been missing for over 5 years. The court will give you a certificate of presumption of death.
No, Ryan! I can't do that!
Was in a bad wreck about 2 years ago. Doctors told me he'd be lucky to drive.
Thanks heavens. Those boys drive like they're crazy. You think they want to get killed.
Car number 43.
I don't know if I should have come here. I was having a real good time, but seeing these boys bang into each other makes me...
Hey, that's life, baby. You know, people smash into each other all the time. All that matters is who comes out on top.
You really think so, Billy Joe? Kinda.
Sure. From all the jungle.
It's the law of a bunch of animals, not people. Decent folks don't live like that.
Oh, yeah? How do you think all these oil moguls made it to the top? By selling Girl Scout cookies?
No, but they didn't
bet you a lot they didn't. They didn't have a bunch of fancy lawyers, half of them be in jail already. They're not so smart. They just don't get caught, that's all.
You think we've heard enough of the Billy Joe Wright philosophy of life?
Yeah, honey. Elena shouldn't be hearing this.
There's a little jockey.
Why not? You gotta grow up sometime, right, Elena?
Right, Billy Joe. I'm not so young as some think.
You're getting younger every minute.
I wish you were.
Billy Joe, can we just watch the race?
I am watching the race. Who's in the lead? Dunham?
Yes, but Decker's pulling up right behind him.
Dunham's still running number 1. Decker a close second.
Oh, thank God. I get so scared when things like that happen.
Not me. Oh, sir, it gives me a real terrific rush. Get your blood moving. Woo!
If you're so turned on by speed and danger, why don't you race, Billy Joe?
Lack of bread, honey. If I was born in the Bucks, I'd be out there leading the pack right now.
Bringing you all the action on the
Guess I'm
victory
just
hill.
been born
This may be
disadvantaged.
one of the closest stock car races
Say that
I've
again.
ever seen. Dunham and Decker have been jockeying for the number 1
I
spot
said the
all
Deckers
afternoon.
weren't exactly born with silver spoons in their mouths. The car Ricky's driving, he paid for himself.
Look, those cars just hit! Oh!
Trouble in turn 1. He smacked my number. I can't tell. I can't see the number. They're dead on the track. There goes the yellow flag.
Which number is it? Can you see, honey?
No, I can't tell. I can't see.
It's not Ricky.
Damn.
We'll get you that number in just a moment.
That second car was number 52, Charlie Ridgeway of Beaumont. Ricky and Jody are leaving the track. No driver seems to be hurt.
But they're both out of the race. The cars are still moving in place under the yellow flag.
The wrecker's got 52 off the track.
There goes the other one. The track is now clear.
There's the green. They're back in action. Both boys are really pouring on the horsepower now.
This may just decide the race. Sonny Dunham of Dangerfield, the defending champ, is still holding the lead.
There goes Ricky Decker. He's making his move. Car number 22 is pulling out in front of Dunham.
They're doing some pretty fancy maneuvering.
He's got him. Ricky Decker is finally pulling out farther in front of Dunham.
Wait a minute. They're running into trouble on turn 4. Oh, Decker's car number 22 has just been hit. Looked like Decker suddenly lost control. He's back on the track.
He's been hit again. Number 30 caught him in the rear. He's spinning out.
Oh! He hit that wall hard. Decker is out of the race for sure.
It's a brutal crash. This car is on fire.
It's firing up.
Hold on that wreck. Marshall's going out there.
Yellow flag is out. Decker's car is really smashed against that wall.
Ah, John! out! Get him out! Oh, that poor boy. That poor boy.
Decker's car is starting to smoke. If that fire reaches the fuel tank... Justin Marshall has just left the KVIK truck and he's heading for the car. It looks like he'll be the first to arrive, but it may be too late.
You just watch yours come.
Stay on that wreck 3. 1 and 2, move in on it as fast as you can. Just forget all the other cars.
There goes the fire truck. There's pandemonium on the tracks. Okay, I can see Justin Marshall. He's reached the car. He's way ahead of everyone else. But that car could go up in a second.
Tighten up on that wreck 3. Hold it. Justin's gonna get him out. I know it.
He's having some trouble freeing Decker from the seatbelts. That metal must be red hot.
Don't let it blow up.
Jenny, there'll be no difficulties. I'm not proposing some special procedure. It's done all the time in matters like this.
No, it isn't that.
And what is it?
Barrett's not dead.
What?
I mean, the rest of the world might think so, but they haven't found his body. They have no positive identification. And until that, I can accept it, but not like this.
Jenny, it's been 5 years. Look, Washington's pulled out all the stops on the MIAs. If I thought there was any possibility, I'd say keep hoping. But believe me, there isn't.
Don't you think I know that? I've thought about it, that I've lain awake nights, thinking what a fool I was to keep expecting Barrett.
And why can't you file for a presumption? For Steve's sake, if not your own.
Because if I do, I feel as if I've betrayed Barrett. I just can't do that, right? I can't just write him off. I can't wipe out the man I loved with a piece of paper.
A piece of paper can't do that, but time can.
Are you saying I don't remember Barrett? That I can't see him standing right in front of me just as clearly as I see you?
Well, can you? Ginny, you said the man I loved. You talk about Barrett as if he was in the past. Well, he does exist only in the past.
I still love him.
Of course you do. But the love we owe to the dead just isn't the same as the love we owe to the living. Ginny, even marriage vows say, till death do us part.
I'm not just talking about marriage vows, Ryan. Before I could even read, my father taught me about honor and duty and country. And when a man went away, a woman waited for him faithfully. Now, I know that those virtues aren't really in fashion anymore, but they are not supposed to be fashionable.
Ginny, I understand that attitude and I admire it. But you can't substitute ideals for flesh and blood.
I'm not doing that. Don't you understand? The Army was our life. When Barrett and I fell in love, he was working for my father as liaison officer. We had so many things that we shared. We had so much in common. The old and the new cavalry. Honor, duty, country. All those things were drilled into Barrett when he was at Texas A&M. He didn't have to learn them. They were in his blood. And in his father's and in his grandfather's, just like they're in mine.
Jenny.
Ryan, please let me finish. I have to say this. When the call came that they wanted him to go back to Vietnam, he didn't want to go. He'd already done his tour of duty over there. I was so grateful to have him here alive and safe. We were living right here on the ranch. We had Steve. Barrett didn't want to leave us or the land. He knew that the that the war was lost. It was only a matter of time. But he told me that it was his duty. That he knew the war. He knew the country. He knew that he could save lives.
It must have been rough. Losing him just a few days before the war ended.
When the telegram came that he was missing, I didn't think I'd ever stop crying. It was so terribly unfair. When I did stop, and I thought that there was a chance that he was still alive, no matter how slim it might be, it was my duty to wait for him.
Are you sure it's still your duty? Or is it something else?
What else is there?
Uncertainty. Fear. Fear of starting over. Of committing yourself to someone else with all the possibilities of losing him as you did Barrett.
No.
Ginny, I know how hard it is to let dreams go. To say I'm going to get rid of him forever, it's hard, but you got to do it.
No, I can't desert him.
You wouldn't be deserting him. You'd be performing your duty. You've got to let Barrett go.
Please. I can't. I can't even think about that. Hello? What? Elena, is that you? Honey, stop. I can't understand a word you're saying. Elena. Oh, no. Oh, Lord. Ryan, go get Max. It's urgent. Right away.
Of course. Max!
Give me just a minute. Max is on his... Settle down.
He's on the phone. Something's wrong.
Elena. Max, it's Elena. Ricky's crashed.
Elena, what happened? Ricky isn't... Thank heaven. Well, how bad is it? Elena, will you get a hold of yourself? I can't... What? Terry, thank heaven you're there. Yeah, you stay with me. You stay right with him. I'll be in as soon as I can. All right.
Ricky's not...
No, but he's in bad shape. Car hit him, went out of control, smashed into a wall, and burst into flames.
Where is he?
I take him to the Gulf Coast Hospital. Jenny, look, I gotta drive in. You tell Kate I'll call as soon as I know any more.
No, forget the car. I came down in Alex's helicopter. It'd be a lot quicker to go back in it.
All right, let's go.
Max. Kate and I will be praying for him.
One more thing. You tell Kate I'll be checking in on Justin, too. It seems like he got himself hurt pulling Ricky out of that damn car.
Okay, guys, that's about right. As a matter of fact, that's perfect. There you go. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Must be some girl you're doing this for.
Yeah, she's some girl, all right. Take it easy.
Dennis,
Dawn, what are you doing here?
aren't you glad to see me?
Well, yes, of course I'm glad to see you. You ruined my surprise.
Surprise? Oh, the piano.
Yeah, the piano, except I was going to give it a real shine and put some forget-me-nots all around it, you know? Hey, aren't you glad I brought it here?
Oh, Dennis, I love you for giving me the piano. And I love you for being here when I need you. I love you.
Well, hey, I love you too, but... Well, what's wrong? I thought you were going back to the ranch.
I did.
What happened?
It was awful.
What?
Ryan Connor was there. Oh, he'd been there before, telling us that he had an offer on the house through Stryker Bellman's office. Lies.
Well, did you tell your grandmother that it was Alex Wheeler who wanted to buy the house?
Yes. I told her, but she already knew.
She did? Well, she must have thrown Connor right out the door.
No, she fell all over him.
I can't believe that. Your grandmother wouldn't sell your father's house to Alex Wheeler.
She said she'd sell it to the devil if it would help save her precious ranch.
It is her life, you know. You can't expect her to stop caring about it.
Well, it's like she stopped caring about me, about Daddy. Like she's forgotten about him.
Look, I can't believe that.
Well, you didn't see her. I opened the door and there she was, laughing and smiling with Alex Wheeler's flunky. It's getting to where I'm afraid to open doors anymore. Afraid of what I might find.
You're thinking about your father, aren't you?
How could he do this to me? How could he abandon me? Oh, I know there are no answers. But sometimes I dream that I open the door to the study and nothing's there. Nothing.
What can I do to help?
Hold me, just hold me. Don't let me go.
Don't worry, I won't. Ever.
Oh, Dennis, I used to be so happy before. But now it's as if an evil magician has turned my life inside out.
Yeah. And his name is Alex Wheeler.
You're the only one who understands how I feel. You and Justin. Everyone else is sold out.
Listen, I'll always be here. Always.
This is where I belong. Here with you. I want to stay with you.
I'd like that too. But your grandmother...
She doesn't care about me. All she and Jenny care about is saving their precious ranch. I don't mean a thing to her.
Well, are you sure you want to stay here? With me?
Yes. I love you. I want to be with you. Tonight. Forever. Dennis, where are you going?
Go in the door.
Well, why? You're not going to walk out on me like everyone else.
No, I'll just be a minute, all right?
But why? You're not going to call my grandmother, are you? I can't
no, I'm
go
not
back
calling
there.
anybody. Relax, okay?
Then where are you going?
I'm just going to lock the door. Just got to be closing time. Welcome home.
Boss, what are you doing here this time of day? You usually let Alfredo handle the lunch crowd.
I do. But I've got something special cooking.
Oh, really? Something I should know about?
No reason you shouldn't. Just a little meeting with Stryker Bellman.
Oh, yes, to pitch the big business deal that Alex wouldn't buy, right?
No. Look who just came in.
Well, what do you know? A visitation.
I better take care of this personally. I'll take over, Alfredo.
Of course, Mr.
Alex, good to see you again. Hello. Mrs. Carrington. Dennis, right this way, and I'll show you the best table in the house. I want the whole room to see what a lovely lady you brought along.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis.
Do fine, Clipper.
Well, I hope so. After all, it's not often we get to see you twice in the same week.
I used to think that a businessman who stopped for lunch was a fool, but Iris has convinced me it's the other way around.
It's about time.
Well, if there's anything I can do for you, just holler. Have a good lunch.
Dennis, I'm glad to have this chance to really meet you and talk with you.
Boy, I never thought I'd see Alex Wheeler take time out for lunch. Usually there aren't enough hours in the workday for him.
Clip, who's that woman on the king's right hand?
That blondish?
Mm-hmm.
Iris Carrington. The sun rises and sets on that lady for Alex.
And Dennis Carrington is her son.
Yeah.
I know Dennis. He's my sister's boyfriend. I just think I'll drop over and say hello.
With Alex Wheeler sitting there?
Sure, why not? Billionaires don't scare me, sugar. Not one little bit.
When I made the offer on Mike Marshall's house, Dennis, I made what I consider a very generous offer to help the family out.
Well, it's easy to be generous when you've just raked in all the chips. Throwing a few back doesn't hurt at all.
Dennis? Well, Dennis Carrington. I haven't seen you since you visited Dawn out at the hotel. Oh, please, please, don't get up.
I see that reading the paper finally paid off for you.
Sure did. I got a job at the top of the world. Oh, I'm sorry to barge in on you like this, but I just had to meet your mother, Dennis. I've heard so much about her from Dawn.
Yeah, right. Paige, this is my mother, Iris Carrington. Mom, this is Paige Marshall, Dawn's sister.
Oh, I'm very happy to meet you, Paige.
Thank you. I must say I've been introduced a lot of different ways in a lot of shows and clubs, but I think that's the first time I've been introduced as Dawn's sister.
I'm only surprised Dennis didn't introduce me as Dawn's future mother-in-law.
Mom.
Well, you have to admit that's the way you've been behaving, as though everything and everybody revolves around Dawn Marshall.
Well, that's really not true.
Please, Dennis and Iris, let's not get into that. That's not why we're here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Paige. I didn't introduce you to Alex Wheeler.
Wheeler, that's all right. We've already met, haven't we? When I signed Mr. Wheeler's very generous offer to buy Daddy's old house.
You accepted the offer?
Well, of course. Wouldn't any reasonable person?
Then you don't share Dawn's attitude about selling the house to Alex?
Well, Mrs. Carrington, Dawn is the baby of the family. You know, Daddy always used to coddle her.
I keep hoping she'll grow up one of these days. I think if Daddy were here, he would want us to put the past behind us. Certainly not to turn down a very kind and generous offer like Mr. Wheeler is making.
I only knew Maud Marshall a short while, but I'm sure of it.
Well, I've interrupted your lunch much too long. I'll be running along now.
Thank you, Paige.
It was a pleasure meeting you. I'm very glad you came over.
Thank you. Bye, all.
Okay, now I've got Mrs. Marshall's signature and Paige's and Courtney's on the agreement to sell. But Justin and Dawn, I don't know, they look like hardcore holdouts to me.
Don't worry. Dawn called me up this morning. Seems like she and Justin both changed their minds. They both want to sign.
They do? Well, I thought I'd look out your window and see an iceberg before I heard that. What happened?
Well, it's like an old professor in my law school used to say, Ryan. For a lawyer, the signatures are all. The rest is biography.
Okay, so we'll leave the reasons to the historians, right? You know, I think I'm going to learn a lot from you, Stryker.
Well, you just keep on listening, son. As long as I'm here, I'll teach you everything I know. You know, I'm going to have to assign you to a new piece of work. That about wraps this up.
No, not quite. There's still a problem with Ginny.
Ginny?
Mm-hmm. She refuses to clear Barrett's succession by asking for a certificate of presumed death. She feels that, well, that she'd be betraying Barrett. You know, wiping him out with a piece of paper.
You may be giving up a little too easy there. There's a way you can get off dead center if you want to try it.
What is it?
Well, under Texas law, anyone with an interest in the property can file for presumption of death. It doesn't have to be the widow.
What do you mean?
Kate. Now, she's the administratrix of Mike's estate. She's got a legal right to file. Oh, dear. You are a mite involved in this now, aren't you? Personally, not just as a lawyer.
Come on, you know I am. Oh, I keep asking myself, am I really that interested in getting Alex's house? Or do I just want Ginny to admit that Barrett's dead?
Well, doesn't matter a whit. You're doing an honest piece of lawyering here. It's the best interest of everybody involved. If it happens to bring Ginny around at the same time, that's no sin.
Hey, thanks, Stryker. Couldn't ask anyone for better advice. You're a pretty regular guy, you know that?
I got me a rule.
What's
Never
that?
give the other guy a better break than you give yourself. I tell you, if the Lord wanted me to be a scapegoat, I'd have been born chewing a cud. Listen, all this talk's got me hungry. How about go and get a bite of lunch?
Oh, no thanks. I've got to head back to the ranch.
Oh, I see. And what advice are you going to be giving, counselor?
You are not going to get well if you don't eat something.
You call that stuff food? Tastes a lot like dishwater to me. Or Max is cooking, since Elena's shuffled off to your place.
Well, I thought Kate was looking after y'all.
Well, she does, some of the time. It's the other times I can't stand. Just like I can't stand that soup.
Oh, that's nonsense. It's good, strong broth. Well, it's strong broth. Well, it's broth.
You call that broth? It isn't even good dishwater. Next time you come, why don't you bring me a steak and a couple of beers? You know, you could smuggle in a 5-course meal in that purse of yours.
When you get out of here, I'm going to treat you to the biggest, thickest steak this side of Kansas City. But while you're here, do what they tell you to. Stop sulking like a little boy with the chicken pox.
Oh, Maggie.
Now, don't aw Maggie me. Nobody has got any sympathy for any big, tough deputy that goes around smashing up stock cars where you near scared the family half to death.
Maggie, it's my life.
Okay. Okay, it's your life. Throw it away if you want to. But don't do it while the family is watching. Nobody wants to see your imitation of a liver sausage sandwich, all meat from edge to edge.
You're hazardous to my health, Maggie. Don't you know it hurts me to laugh like that? Hey, I'm really sorry about scaring everybody.
You know, I thought Elena was going to come plumb unglued. She was so upset, and Terry wasn't much better.
What about Nita?
Oh, well, Nita was torn up pretty bad, too.
No? Well, how come she hasn't been to see me, then?
Well, she's been pretty busy, what with the restaurant and all, and you want to know the truth? She wanted to come. Real bad. Only she ran into an obstacle.
What obstacle?
Billy Joe. Well, it seems like he took a real dislike to you. I overheard him say something real nasty about you.
What?
Well, he said he could understand why some people could just hate certain kinds of food because the very sight of pig made him sick to his stomach. Only his grammar wasn't quite that good.
Oh, that...
Now...
He's gonna get what's coming to him. If I've ever seen anybody who was born to hang, it's that stinking little...
Now listen. I agree with you completely, but Nita's married to that trash, and she's got to live with him.
Yeah, but she doesn't have to listen to him. She could come visit me if she wants to. Billy Joe can't stop her.
Yes, he can, honey. She came down this morning. She had a black eye, a real dilly.
You think that cringing little dog...
Now, Ricky, take it easy. I don't know for sure, but I'm afraid so.
Can I come in?
Why don't you sing a little song for me? Come on, how am I going to introduce you to some big talent scout if I ain't heard you sing? I know you can do it. I hear you sing all the time. You think nobody's around.
I'm not in the mood, Billy Joe.
You ain't shy, are you? I mean, how are you going to get in front of a big crowd and belt out Hank Williams if you can't even sing to me?
It's not the same.
I'll tell you what. Why don't we dance, huh? That ought to put you in the mood, and then if you feel like it, you can sing to me. Sing in my ear, you know?
Okay. I love to dance.
Close the door.
You don't have to worry anymore.
Hey, we'll make beautiful music together, you know? Come on, sing me some more. Come on.
I'll be
got the shame. You don't have to be afraid. I'm the old baby tonight.
Oh, I didn't get to finish my song.
Hey, that's all right. There's another one coming down the pike. Anyways, that gives us more time for this.
Well, I don't know about you, Dennis, but I found Paige Marshall to be an extremely sensible and down-to-earth young woman.
You're saying Dawn isn't sensible and down-to-earth?
You said that, Dennis. I didn't.
Iris, let me talk to them.
Look, you can both talk till you're blue in the face. You're not going to change my mind.
I'm sorry you feel that way. But whether I change your mind or not, I do understand the Marshall's reactions to Mike's suicide. And I understand Dawn's reaction to Mike's suicide.
How could you possibly understand Dawn's reactions?
I understand because I felt the same myself. I've had to live with the fact that I didn't realize how desperate Mike really was.
Well, then you must have been blind.
Really, Dennis?
It's all right, Iris. I was blind. I was so obsessed by my vision that I shut out other people's dreams, their lives. And now I know that was wrong.
Yeah, well, it's a little late now, isn't it?
I hope not. And I hope I can convince you and Dawn of what Kate Marshall already knows. That I never meant to harm Mike. That I would do anything in my power to help the family out.
Then you stay out of their lives.
Dennis, Alex has made an extremely generous offer on the River Oaks house, and he's freed the ranch of all debts. I'm sure he'd be glad to help the family in any other way he can, and to help you.
Yes. If there's anything you know that I can do, if I can be of any assistance to you and Dawn in getting your lives together.
What is this? You offering me a bribe?
No.
Dennis, I'm ashamed of you. That's the most insulting thing I have ever
That's pretty
heard.
insulting, isn't it, Mom, to be offered a bribe? Or would you call it something else?
I'd call it a generous offer.
Your mother tells me that you're thinking about buying Western art. I'd like to help you out.
No, thanks.
You know you can't afford to buy the gallery without help from me or from Alex. Why are you being so stubborn?
Because Dawn would spit on anything this man gave her. And she'd do the same thing to me if I accepted anything from him.
Mr. Bellman, good to see you again. Let me take you to a table myself.
Always good to see a man you'd like to sell a horse to, eh, Clipper?
Oh, well, I've got something a lot more valuable than a horse in mind, Mr. Bellman.
Oh, Alex! And Iris! And Dennis! Well, if this isn't the picture of a family group, I never did see one. You know, you could do a lot worse than have a fine young fellow like that for a son, Alex. Pity you never married. But it's never too late now, is it, Iris?
No, it's never too late.
Won't you sit down, Stryker?
Thanks, but Clipper's just dying to talk to me about some big business deal. I think he wants to sell me a short-winded horse with a wall eye and a spine that with a dip in it that looks like a roller coaster.
I hope we'll see you again soon, Stryker.
You can count on it, Iris. Goodbye, you all. Well, come on, Clipper. Let's sit down. Get this over with.
Look, maybe we should talk about this later on. I just don't like talking about it with Alex Wheeler sitting right over there.
Well, why not? I've never had anything I had to hide from Alex.
Yeah, well, maybe the feeling's not mutual.
Well, what are you driving at?
This deal I've got, it has to do with oil transport for big bucks. I've got a deal that could put you and I in the chips for the rest of our lives.
Son, I am already in the chips. And the rest of my life could be tomorrow. If you got some big oil transport deal, why don't you just take it straight to Alex first?
It hurts me to say this, Stryker, but I know Alex better than you do. And I don't trust him. And neither should you.
All right. I'll come up to your office after lunch. But you better have some aces in that hand of yours, son. Because if you don't, I'm gonna drive you right out of the game. I'll see to that.
And now, the next part of Texas.
Sure, come on in, Nita.
But I thought, well, it's good to see you here, Nita. Why don't I just see if I can find a place to get rid of this soup, and if they make anything vaguely resembling coffee in this place, I think we could all use a cup, maybe.
Thanks, Maggie. Billy Joe said I should come and visit Ricky.
Well, now, why don't you just sit down and have a nice little chat? I'll be back in a couple of shakes.
So how you doing, Ricky?
Oh, I'm fine, Nita. I'm a little banged up, but nothing that getting out of the hospital won't cure.
I was so happy to hear you were all right. I wanted to stay here last night at the hospital till I heard.
That's okay.
But, no, I had to get to work and get some rest, and well, not that I slept any, worrying about you.
Hey, it's all right. I understand.
How soon will it be before they let you out of here?
Oh, sooner than I think. I'm going to keep badgering them until they'll be glad to see me go.
You'll probably go back to the ranch.
No, Dr. Walker says Max will have me throwing feed bags over my shoulder before I'm supposed to. Takes a long time for a bruised body to heal up. I wouldn't want to bust anything open again.
No, of course not. Where will you be staying?
Oh, Terry's apartment. She lives in one of those fancy complexes. They got a swimming pool and everything. Sure would be nice to have a little company. You know, I can't talk to the pool.
I'm sure Maggie and Elena will be by to visit you.
I was thinking about you, Nita.
No, I don't think it's a very good idea.
Why not?
Ricky, I want you to know I'm concerned about you and all, but I'm a married woman and I don't run around.
Oh, I never thought... I'm really sorry, Nita. I don't think about you that way. I just meant I'd like to see you as a friend.
Oh, I'm the one that should be sorry. I don't know where my head's at.
Can you come and see me?
Billy Joe.
Damn it! How can you listen to that? I don't understand. How can you be loyal to somebody who knocks you around like that?
Well, like what?
Come on, Nita. If that bruise were any bigger, I'd say you got kicked by a horse. But it looks just about the size of a fist to me.
No, it was...
No, don't tell me that you ran into a door. I've had plenty of calls on wife beaters. I know what it looks like.
No, Ricky, please.
Now, don't lie to me, Nita. He hit you, didn't he? Didn't he?
Well, how's the star grump of the West Wing? I've been hearing from the nurses that... Oh, sorry, am I interrupting something?
Oh, no, not at all, Doctor. You go right ahead. I'll wait outside.
Nita!
Well, how you feeling, Rick? Any sharp pains?
This one big dull ache.
Well, when your entire body's one large bruise, what do you expect?
Yeah, I guess.
Roll over for me.
Hey, Doc, did you notice that bruise on Nita's face?
I sure did. It's a beaut.
Well, how do you reckon she got it?
That's easy. Somebody slugged her. Hard.
Yeah. It's just about how I had it figured. Doc.
Yeah?
How soon do you think I'll be able to get out of here?
You're a super dancer, you know that? I haven't had this much fun since, well, years, you know?
You're really good too, Billy Joe. Not like those boys at Marshall County High. I mean, dancing with them is like waltzing with a cow.
Well, that's what you get when you dance with a bunch of cowboys. I mean, you gotta go to the big city, you know, to get some smooth dancing. You gotta see some of the moves they make at the top of the world. Now, that's dancing.
Well, I'd love to, but Max wouldn't let me go to anything hotter than a high school dance. I mean, the chaperones don't even allow anything wilder than the bus stop.
Chaperones? You gotta be kidding. They still got those?
Well, in Marshall County, they do.
Well, honey, this ain't Marshall County. Ain't no chaperones around here. So we can kind of play hooky a little bit, and we can drink up. So, drink up. Come on.
You know that at the gym we had to sneak out to have a drink by the cars?
We got this whole bar all to ourselves now. Come on.
Okay. I'm not going to drink too much, though.
Why not?
Well, I haven't had anything to eat since I was at the hospital. And this beer is beginning to make me feel a little lightheaded.
And good. You know, I mean, that's the way it's supposed to make you feel, darling. Supposed to make you feel real relaxed. So, relax. Let old Billy Joe take care of you, darling. Get all the tension out of your shoulders here and your neck.
Billy Joe, I think I'd better put on another record.
Sure, baby. Play something sexy, why don't you?
Honestly, you know, I think they put coffee grounds in somebody's boot and then pour lukewarm water over it. Well, now, hi, Bart. You all finished with our speed demon from Marshall County? How's he doing?
Well, better than he has any right to be. Called a combination of good surgery and...
And a hide as thick as his head. I tell him that all the time, and he doesn't pay any attention to me.
Doc says I'm going to be out of here in a couple days.
Oh, that's good, honey. Say, how are you coming along with that property, the art gallery?
Oh, I haven't done much about it since Courtney and I went to take a look at it. I've got to go out to the ranch and ask Kate if the property's been cleared for sale.
Well, I'm sorry Courtney's not going to be joining you, but we're going to be real glad to have you there anyway. We need a good doctor in the neighborhood.
I'll let you know, Maggie.
Well, I guess Nita and I better get back to the restaurant before Billy Joe drinks up all my beer.
Maggie...
Well, I don't mind if Billy Joe has a few beers as long as the restaurant is still standing when I get back. Now, you take care of yourself. Do just what Bart tells you. There's no point in having a good doctor if you don't follow his advice. And don't drink any of this coffee. It's liable to give you a relapse.
Bye,
Goodbye, Maggie. Thanks for coming.
Bye, Ricky. You get well real soon, you hear me?
Bye, Nita. Thanks for coming to see me.
You know, why don't you let me have a look at that shiner?
Oh, well, it's nothing. It really...
Looks like a pretty big nothing to me. Is it just tender? No sharp pains?
No, nothing broke.
Well, what's the other guy look like?
Other guy?
The one you had the fight with.
Oh, I didn't have a fight, Doctor. It was dark and I bumped into something. Night blindness.
Oh, well, put an ice pack on it. That'll take the swelling down.
Thank you, Doctor. I'll do that.
Anita,
After I get set up, you ought to come and let me check it out. It can be dangerous, that night blindness.
Thanks, I will.
Well, I think that's a real good idea, Nita. I'll see that she does that part.
Come right in, Mr. Connor. It's good to see you. You're here to get Justin and Dawn's signatures, I expect.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, sit down. It won't take me but a minute to get them.
Mrs. Marshall, there's something I'd like to talk about before I see Justin and Dawn.
What is it? Is something wrong?
No, not exactly, but there is a problem. That is, if you want this agreement wrapped up soon.
Well, but everything was arranged. Everyone's agreed.
Well, they have, but there's a technicality in the way. It seems we have a signature missing. Barrett's.
But Barrett is missing.
I know, and presumed dead, but not by the courts. Until 7 years pass by. The law says Barrett's still alive.
Oh, I see.
A certificate of presumptive death can be issued by the Defense Department, but it has to be requested. Now, under Texas law, the person who administers the estate can file in order to clear the estate for probate.
You're asking me to do it?
No, ma'am, I'm not asking you to do it. I'm telling you that you can.
But you'd like me to do it?
Yes.
It's not just the house business, is it? You have another reason for wanting it done.
Yes, I do. I almost asked Stryker to take over for just the reason you're hinting at. I guess you know my other motive for wanting that certificate.
You're asking Ginny to admit that she's a widow, aren't you?
I'm asking her to face the truth. Mrs. Marshall, it's been 5 years. Holding on to the idea that Barrett's coming home isn't hope. It's avoiding the truth.
Has it been that long?
Yes, it has. It's time, Mrs. Marshall. There comes a point when grief turns into loneliness, and I think that Ginny's long since reached that point. Now, you must have seen that.
Yes. I've seen it. And I've seen how happy she looks when that helicopter of yours drops down on the front pasture. But have I the right?
Yes, you do have the right. The law says you do. What you have to decide is what's best for Ginny and for Steve.
How I loved Barrett. But I love the girl he married, too. Just as if she were my own. And Stevie, too. You're right. It is time. Ginny must put the past behind her. I'll go get Justin and Dawn now. You just sit down and make yourself to home.
Yes, ma'am.
And afterward, I'll tell Ginny that I mean to do what you suggested. That I mean to have Barrett declared dead.
Well, it looks as if we've said everything we can say without getting into a shouting match. Mom, it was good seeing you again.
Good seeing you.
Mr. Wheeler, thanks for the invitation to lunch. I really couldn't tell you what we had. I was so preoccupied. I'm sure it was all very expensive. Please.
Dennis, I'd like to do this more often, and I think your mother agrees. And son, I wish you'd call me Alex.
I am not your son. Don't call me that.
I'm sorry. Just a way of speaking. I love your mother so much that I feel very close to you. And I'd like you to feel the same about me.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Wheeler, but the feeling isn't mutual. Mom, look, I came here with you because you insisted upon it, and I listened to everything.
You did not listen.
I listened to everything, including everything Mr. Wheeler had to say here, and none of it's made any difference.
Because
Mr.
you're
Wheeler,
so
I'll tell you. I came here and listened to my mother because she wanted me to be here with you. And she told me that if you're going to have a close relationship, well, anyway, you can have that close relationship if you want it. That doesn't matter to me, but my life is with Dawn Marshall.
That child.
Look, Mom, and if it means us being separated, then that's the way it has to be. I'll see you later. Mr. Wheeler.
Alex?
Iris. He's got to lead his own life. You've got to let him.
I would if he were leading it, but he's not. He's being led around by the nose by that terrible girl. Somehow I have to get him free.
Iris, I don't understand why you're so determined to force Dennis and me together.
He needs a father. Someone he can look up to. I'm determined that he accept you as that. And someday he will. I promise you that.
Stay tuned for the conclusion of Texas.
Cut it out, Billy Joe. You're going too fast for me. I never meant
Too fast? I never saw a quicker come on, sweetie.
Billy Joe, please, you have to stop. Nita is my friend, and I don't want to hurt her.
You know what they say. What you don't know can't hurt you. And I don't intend to let her know. Do you?
No, of course not. Billy Joe, please. Billy Joe, stop. I'm going to my room now.
That's what I had to buy.
Billy Joe, no! Please, Billy Joe!
Dealing with those dummy cowboys, you know. That dummy cowboys from high school. This is Billy Joe Wright talking to you now. You know that? You just can't turn me on and off like that, honey. You let me on and you deliver.
No, Billy Joe, please! No, Cut it out, Billy Joe. You're going too fast. I never meant anything.
Too fast? I never saw a quicker come on, sweetie.
No, come on, Billy Joe, please don't. Oh, Billy Joe, please. Anita's my friend. I can't hurt her.
You know what they say. What you don't know can't hurt you. I don't intend to let her know, do you? Huh?
No, of course not. But Billy Joe, please. Billy Joe, please don't. Please don't. I'm going to my room now.
That's just what I had in mind.
No, Billy Joe, Joe! No! Billy Joe!
Come on here! Who do you think you're dealing with? Those dumb cowboys in high school? This is Billy Joe you're talking to, see? You can't just turn me on. You can't turn me on enough like that. You let me on. Girl, now you deliver.
No, Billy Joe! No! Billy Joe! No! Billy Joe! Joe! No!
Honey, there's nothing dragging me back to Houston, but if you insist on... Justin?
Goodness,
Is that the rifle that...
I killed my daddy. It's been in my family for about a century. My great-granddaddy used it to put food on the table. Bear and deer. It's also been used against people, back when bands of scavengers were still preying on homesteaders. Some of them thought they could take our land away from us. They didn't. That's who's buried over there by the west fence, in case you ever wondered. And it killed a man it wasn't supposed to kill. Somebody it was meant to defend.
Honey, if I were you, I'd just get rid of the thing. All those awful memories.
This? Oh, no. Not this. This is mine. I'm taking it with me.
Can't you just visit it here? Why do you have to bring it into town?
Because that's where I'm going to live. I'm bringing everything with me. Houston is going to be my town from now on. No more Paris, no more Rome. I've come back to my town. This is my legacy. It's all I have left.
Honey, every time I see that old gun, it makes me feel all anxious inside, like it's some terrible prophecy.
Making prophecy is for prophets. This is only wood and steel and...
Hey, Justin, you in there?
I'm over here, friend. Brass. It's only a tool.
Kate's looking for you. That lawyer, Ryan Connor, is up at the house with her. He's got some papers with him. Something about selling your dad's place in town.
Needs my name, huh?
Yeah. I think he needs you to sign him. Did I find you, Just?
You found me. Hold on to this for me, will you, honey?
You mind? Sometimes I wish I couldn't read him so clear, but I saw it, same as you.
I'm not sure what I saw.
Yes, you are. Justin's really locked into it.
You mean that gun?
Revenge, woman. Looks like Justin may have to kill himself a man before he lets his daddy go in peace.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. I mean, Justin wouldn't do that. Even with his temper, even as impulsive as he is. No, he wouldn't do that.
Lady, I know Just. Knew him day in and day out all the time we were growing up together. We used to be like two fingers on the same hand. And he would.
No, he wouldn't. The trouble with you is you take all this cowboy stuff too seriously. Well, Justin is too cosmopolitan for that. He wouldn't shoot somebody.
I'm not asking you to believe me. I don't even care. You couldn't do anything about it anyway. Nobody could stop him if he was determined to do it. That's just the way he is. Why, if Justin made up his mind, the only way anybody could stop him would be to kill him first. You listen to me. There was a time, long time ago, Justin and I, we were just boys, young boys at that. And there was a coyote, devil in the place, bringing down the calves. So Justin and I, we set to tracking him. He laid down a good trail at first. But we kept losing it, finding it, losing it again. Coyotes are smart. And this one knew he had trouble on his tail. So anyway, we tracked him for 3 days straight. Didn't stop but a few times for water, wolfed down a handful of beef jerky. Just rode and rode.
You slept, didn't you?
Oh, I wanted to. Wanted to rest at least. I mean, I was beat. So were the horses. And so was Justin. But he wouldn't admit it. Wouldn't give in to it, I should say. Got like a crazy man. Skin burning, his eyes red, just wouldn't stop. Said we could rest all we wanted to once we brought that coyote down. He said that coyote was made of meat just like we were. And all we had to do was outlast him by 5 minutes.
Well, what happened?
Well, we wrote him down. And when we did, Justin put a 30-30 right between his eyes.
Hey, Elena, are you hurt? Come on. Hey, listen, you all right? Look, I was just kidding, you know. I didn't mean to. You got the worst damn luck. They see you like this, they're good. Elena, come on, Elena, you all right? I didn't mean to do this. Come on, wait.
Oh, Lord! What happened?
Is that everything?
That's it, thank you.
Now, when you take that piece of paper back to your uncle, I want you to tell him something for me. That's for my grandmother's sake. But you tell him. Nothing's changed between him and me.
Well, what's that mean? Am I supposed to understand what you're talking about?
No, I don't expect you to understand. It's just that Alex Wheeler's lived in Texas long enough to know what I mean. You just tell him what I said.
Boy, you've got no...
Grandma, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be leaving.
Leaving? You are not leaving.
Yes, ma'am, I am. It's time for me to get back to Houston.
It's no such thing. Those burns, they need more time to heal up right.
Grandma, they didn't need as much time as I gave them. I used them for an excuse so that I could spend more time around my favorite lady. And to get a hold of this place again. To get the feeling. So that I'd know clearly why I was signing that agreement that gives Alex Wheeler title to my father's house.
And you know it clear now, boy.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I know. It's just like what you said. This place is not just some chunk of hot Texas land. It hasn't been that for generations. It's where we're from. It's where we come home to sleep, like Daddy did.
You've almost got it right, boy. But this place is no cradle. And it's not just a grave, either. This is a place where folks can live in the way they were meant to live.
And they're never going to take it from us, Grandma. Not for 1,000 years. I gotta be leaving now.
Between the eyes, huh?
Smack dab.
Well, that was a coyote he killed. A vicious animal. That's not a man. It's not a human being. You're wrong about Justin, that's all.
Well, you think what you like. That'll help you to sleep any better.
You're wrong and smug at the same time. You know, I don't know where you get off being so all-fired sure of yourself, so self-righteous. You're not the great infallible judge of character that you think you are.
Maybe, but I do know Justin.
You are just like Kevin, just like him.
Yeah? Who's Kevin?
My husband. You're as bullheaded as he is.
Yeah, and you say I'm like this fella?
Just like him.
Well, that's really strange to hear. Sorry to see how there could be much likeness between me and a man who'd marry you.
So what do you mean by that?
I mean, it's just sort of hard for me to conjure up the kind of man who'd be blind and dumb enough to try to make a wife out of you.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. Seems to me a man had more peace of mind alone in a lion shack with nothing but some old rattlers for companionship.
That's right, honey, huh? It's hard for you to imagine that I could be gratifying company. I mean, only if I wanted to.
Oh. Oh, no, I'll give you that. No, you're a flat-out beauty. You got plenty of spirit, too. But you got a head like a motor block. Near as I can tell, a heart of stone. I think it must have been the money that ruined you.
Ruined?
Yeah, you really could have been one incredible lady, but,
I am one incredible lady. Not that a dunce like you could see it.
Oh, you're smart as a whip, but you're trained all wrong. You know, bad-tempered.
All you know about is horses, and I ain't one of them, honey.
Well, that's too bad. There would have been some hope for you. Now, take a look at yourself. You gotten by with jollying all the men in your life, haven't you? Now, you lay on all that sweetness and honey so thick until they can't live without you. And once you got them weak for you that way, out come the claws.
Stick to horses, honey.
You're 1 in a million, honey. But I bet your husband pays more than that for his, privileges.
Cut it out! Cut it out! You're a lump! You're an ignorant country!
Oh, enough with the flattery. You're making me blush. You keep talking like that and people are going to start thinking there's something between us.
Oh, you are infuriating! You're impossible! I'll just never understand why Kate just doesn't fire you right off the place.
Well, that's simple. She keeps me around here to handle strange happenings and crazy ladies that wander out of the city like you.
Oh!
Hey, easy now with the haymaker practice, honey. You better save that when you get home to your hubby. Now, he's got to put up with it. Me, I hit back.
Well, I just signed the house over to Wheeler. Now it's time.
Time, honey?
Time to get down to it. Start collecting what Wheeler owes to me.
Elena? What on earth has happened to this child? Nina,
Well,
get me some water, quick.
She, fell down them steps.
Child? She fell, Billy Joe?
Yes, ma'am. Well, what it was she was going up onto a room, and, I don't know, I guess she was dizzy or something, and she fell, and then I heard her scream, and I came running over to help, and that's when, you and Nita got back. I don't know what's happening. I just saw her lying there just like that.
Oh, Elena. Elena. Wake up, Elena. Wake up.
Oh, how is she, Maggie?
I think she's coming around.
What happened?
She fell!
Now, wait. Easy, baby. Easy. Now, just take it easy.
My head hurts.
Well, of course your head hurts, honey. You got a lump back there the size of Padre Island. You're going to be all right now. Just, your stomach's not upset, is it?
No.
Oh, well, thank goodness for that. Now, will you please tell a worried old aunt just what happened?
I told you, Maggie. Elena fell. She got dizzy and fell down them steps. Isn't that right, Elena?
I heard what you said, Billy Joe. Is that what happened, Elena? Did you fall down the stairs?
Yes. Yes, that's what happened, Aunt Maggie. I fell down the step.
But how did you...
Oh, I'm all right now that you're here. I feel better now that you're with me.
Well, honey, I want you to wait just a minute now and catch your breath, and then let Billy Joe carry you upstairs.
No, I'm all right, Aunt Maggie.
Oh, honey, you are as weak as a kitten.
Well, maybe if you help me, I could
Nita,
walk.
give me a hand.
Sure.
Oh, I'd be glad to, honey.
I'm better now, Aunt Maggie.
Well, I don't care just the same. As soon as I get you tucked in bed, I'm going to call the doctor. Now, it might be all right, and it might not. You know, I can't think.
Well, I'm fine, Aunt Maggie.
I saw those 2 bottles of beer out, Bill Joe.
So I had a couple beers. So what?
There were 2 glasses out.
I
noticed you were running over there to put them behind the bar. Well, I already did it for you, so Maggie wouldn't see. Because I don't want her to know.
No what?
That you fed that little girl so much beer she got all woozy and she tripped down those stairs.
Yeah. Yeah, well, she's all right now. I gotta get to work or I'll be late. I gotta get cracking. I'm gonna go upstairs and get dressed now, if you don't mind.
You think you can just run away from everything, don't you?
No, I don't just think I can run away from everything. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready so I can run to work. I'm getting pretty tired of your tone, too, woman. I never get any sweet, soft voice from you. All I ever get is accused. You better learn to lighten up, honey, okay?
Billy Joe, this is serious. You shouldn't have done that.
What's so serious about it? So I gave her a few beers. The girl's 17 years old. Or maybe you don't remember when you were 17.
I remember, but...
I used to buy you beers all the time, and we used to go partying out half the night. You used to get pretty woozy yourself, you know. You used to get pretty giggly, get to talking to me real soft. Yeah. Tell me again, hon. Did you like them days or didn't you?
I like them fine, Billy Joe, but that is not what we are talking about.
Well, whatever we were talking about, I gotta get ready for work. We don't have time to finish it. Not till later. I'm gonna go to work now.
I surely did enjoy those times, Billy Joe. But I never dreamed it would end up like this.
Yourself. We are prepared to pay a very large sum for a very small act. What small act, Your Excellency? Csikszentmihalyi has informed me that the operation Dr. Cook will perform will be to put in a pacemaker. Now, you would have access to such a device, would you not? All right. All you would have to do is replace the hospital's pacemaker with one which I will provide. Why you want to switch the pacemaker?
I tape a government bigwig plotting to murder his king. I get him so dead to rights he's willing to make me rich to get hold of that tape. And Alex Wheeler can't stop treating me like a flunky long enough to go along with the deal. Well, I'm not gonna miss this chance whatever I do. I ain't gonna blow this one. Yeah. Come in. Striker.
Well, what was this big deal you were hinting about down the club?
All the oil and tank here, Striker. It's mine to move anywhere in the world it's got to go. I've got the exclusive transport rights for the asking.
Is that a fact? Huh. Well, how did you make it to the big leagues so fast from scratch?
This place, this club, I've made some pretty important contacts here.
Sounds like you have.
Well, my part's in the bag. Let's talk about yours. You interested? All I need is you to use your money and your contacts to help me set up a company to move that oil. Simple as that.
Simple, huh?
Piece of cake.
Tell me one thing. Why are you going about it the hard way? Why don't you go straight to Alex with your deal? He's got the money and the ships and more connections than I could make in 100 years.
I told you, I don't trust him.
But you didn't tell me why.
It's personal. I'd rather not go into the details.
Well, I would be more comfortable knowing some of those details, if you don't mind.
It's just that I know Alex better than you. Probably better than anyone. And I know what he's capable of.
He is capable of building one of the greatest fortunes in the richest country on earth. Now, you don't do that by being a choir boy.
He can be very underhanded.
Oh, come on, Clipper. What'd you expect, Prince Valiant?
All right. All right, I'll give you an example if you want. I wouldn't trust any man who'd play around with another man's wife and pretend to be his good buddy all the time.
Now, that's pretty rough talk, son. You want to tell me what friend we are talking about and whose wife?
Come in.
Kevin, are you busy?
Oh, Courtney.
I just checked on that patient you helped me with.
Oh, Ricky Decker, how's he doing?
Fine. Wonderful.
Good.
Bart says he's making a fast recovery thanks to you. You know, it makes me feel so strong and secure knowing you're there to help when I'm not certain.
You know, Courtney, you're advancing so rapidly and so strongly, one day soon you won't need my help anymore. You won't even think you do.
No. I'll always need your help. And your approval. And your love, Kevin, most of all. You're not withdrawing it, are you?
I couldn't do that if I wanted to. I'm not made of steel. I'm simply trying to control the situation.
As long as it's not remote control.
You know, I think about this in spite of myself, but one day you're going to be a very fine surgeon with a full life of your own. And, well, you'll remember me as having been one of your teachers, but you won't need me.
No, that's wrong. Even if I didn't need you as a teacher any longer, I'd still want you as my lover, my husband.
Now, Courtney, listen to me.
Please. Would it be so terribly unfair to Rena if we stole just an hour just for ourselves?
Courtney, I'm not thinking about being unfair to Rena. I'm thinking about being unfair to you.
Me? I don't understand.
It's because you don't know Rena. If she suspected the feelings we have for each other, she'd move heaven and earth to destroy you, see you humiliated, and to see to it that we never work together, ever again.
Kevin, she's just one person. What can she possibly do?
Well, I didn't know until recently. Now I found out just how far she can go. It was discovering a whole new side of Rena even I didn't know existed.
Why? What happened?
She had her mother followed by a private detective and then blackmailed her.
Blackmail?
So Vicky would let her stay here in Houston. You see, Vicky is guilty of an indiscretion. Rena threatened to tell Stryker.
But his heart condition. This could kill him,
Yes,
my lord.
I know. I tried to wake Rena up to that fact, but she ignored me. You see, that's Rena's way. She ignores or attacks anything she thinks will threaten her fantasy world. And Courtney, I'm not going to give her a chance to try her dirty work on you. I love you. I love you.
Well, whose wife are we talking about?
Like I said, I'd rather keep the specifics to myself.
Now look, I don't want to play any games. If you got something to say, say it.
All right, your wife. Alex and Vicky have been having an affair that's probably gone on for years.
No, I don't believe you. You can't be right.
I know it's tough for you to accept. But as much as I hate to be the one to tell you, it's true, and there is no changing that.
Now look, if you are so all-fired sure yourself, let me have some proof. Because that's the kind of a remark that's going to get a reaction out of me, son.
Proof? I don't...
That is my wife whose name you're throwing down in the mud. If you got proof, I want to hear it.
Well, I've seen her with Alex.
You make a filthy accusation out of that? That's nothing. They've been friends for years.
Well, I hear there are photographs to tell the story even better.
You heard? Why, I ought to... You got photographs, I want to see them.
Well, I don't keep them laying around the office.
You know what I think, Curtis? I think you are so desperate to cut this fool deal of yours, you would do anything to discredit Alex.
Yeah? Okay. I didn't want to make a production out of this,
Yeah, but
you
went and made a production, didn't you?
No! All I'd hoped was you'd be interested in the business deal. Not in the reasons why I wouldn't touch it now and sweeter. But if you want proof, that's what you're gonna get. I guess it's your being a lawyer or something. Well, I'll give you proof that it'd pass muster at a murder trial. Not that I'm suggesting anything.
I won't hold my breath.
We'll see. When you take a look at the proof, we'll see what you have to say then.
I reckon I will worry when and if I have to.
No fractures, no internal injuries. Elena's going to be good as new.
Thank the Lord.
I'd let her sleep if she wants. She's young and strong. It's probably all the medicine she'll need.
Well, what about the bump?
It's superficial. There's no evidence of a concussion. I don't see any need for x-rays.
Oh, that's a blessing. I don't know how to thank you, Bart, for coming over here and putting our minds at ease.
Oh, it's good practice for me. I plan to bring back the house call, you know. Besides, I was thinking of dropping by for supper anyway.
Well, tonight it's going to be on the house. Lord knows you have patched up enough deckers this week. Oh, I haven't thanked you properly for taking care of Ricky yet.
Not at all.
Besides, I'm just so glad there was nothing serious wrong with Elena. I don't know what I would have said to Max. I promised him I'd look after her.
Well, Maggie, don't tell Max anything about what happened. Oh, Elena, let me help you. You're still weak. Oh, I'm okay. Come over here. Sit down. I just want to go home. Would you call Max and tell him I want to go home?
Elena, I think you'd better get a good night's sleep before you try to do anything.
That's right, honey.
No. No, I just want to go home now, please.
But I don't know why you want to go home tonight, baby.
I just want to. Will you call Max and tell him?
Well, Justin and Dawn have both signed now. So that's all the marshal heirs.
But one, all we need now, Ginny, is your signature as Steve's guardian.
Kate, we've been through all this before. How can I sign that for Steve? He doesn't have the inheritance unless Barrett is declared dead. And I can't do that. I just can't. I won't.
I know how painful it is to you, Ginny, but you don't have to do anything.
Then you won't be able to clear the ranch.
Yes, we will. Ryan explained something to me about my duties as administratrix of Mike's estate.
What?
That I can have my grandson declared legally dead, if that's the only way to clear the estate in the courts.
You can.
Yes.
I'll handle most of the details. I can request a certificate of presumed death from the Defense Department and then present it to the Texas court.
This is a conspiracy. You two have conspired to force me into signing that. I can't believe it.
No, you shouldn't blame Ryan, Ginny. If you need someone to blame, you're looking straight at her.
Kate, why?
I want it done. I need it done. To clear the estate and save the ranch.
But this way?
I want it for another reason, Ginny. Maybe a more important reason. Much as it would hurt both you and me. I want you to stop waiting for Barrett Marshall to come walking back from the grave.
Kate, we don't know.
It's been too long, Ginny. And it's hurt you too much. I want you to start living again. I want you to bury your man once and for all. Ryan, go after her, son. See if you can't comfort her a little.
I'm sorry, Jenny. It was a pretty terrible thing to ask of you. But even though Kate's taking the responsibility, you know whose idea it was, right?
I know. But it doesn't matter. I don't care who wants it, who thinks that it should be done. I don't. Even if you and Kate go ahead with this legal business, it won't change anything, Ryan.
Of course it won't.
And it certainly won't change the way I feel.
Well, I'd be disappointed if it did.
What do you mean?
Hey, you know, I'm not just a lawyer. I'm not just a man who cares for you and your family. I've been living in the same world you have, Jenny. I was in that war too, remember? Barrett and I, we may have crossed paths. Shared a drink out of the same bottle. So I know how you feel. And it's good, it's honorable. It's what love demands. I don't think I could understand you if you felt any other way.
Then why can't you...
Because I see so much life in you. Because I think you feel in your heart that this has been going on too long, like Kate said. That Barrett must really be gone.
No!
Not his spirit. And not your love for him. But the Barrett who always held you in his arms and kept you safe and warm. You know it, don't you? You know that your duty to him is ended, don't you? Why won't you admit it? Look, you've come to the end of your mourning. You just can't spend the rest of your life waiting for him to return when you know deep down he's not going to.
Ryan, I can't.
It's not going to be easy. It shouldn't be. There's always going to be a part of you waiting for him. While the rest of you goes on and has a happy life.
After all these years, I never even thought of being happy unless he came home.
I know. It's like his dying never ended, right? And like you'd be cheating him if you ever felt any happiness, right? Well, that can't be forever.
If I lost him, I'd just feel lost if I let go of it.
Of course you would at first. What kind of woman would you be if you could easily turn around and forget that love you started with, huh? And what kind of man would I be if I wanted you to? You know what? You're going to need a man to help fill up the emptiness in your life, you know? I want to be that man. Jenny?
Jenny? Jenny! Oh. There you are. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Maggie called and said Elena's ready to come back home now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it is, especially since school's starting up again. Well, anyway, I just wanted you to tell Kate that I wouldn't be in for supper. I'm going to drive in now and pick up Elena. I'm glad she got the city out of her system.
Okay, Max, I'll be sure and tell Kate.
Yeah. Thanks.
Well, looks as if there's going to be an empty place at the supper table.
Doggone, I knew it was in one of these pockets.
What's the matter? What'd you lose?
An old rain check. Now, I know I'm going to find it, so when I do, what, should I tear it up or cash it in?
It's much too valuable to tear it up.
Yeah, sure is valuable.
Ryan, I'd like it very much if you'd stay for supper.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'd love to stay. Very much.
Stay tuned for the conclusion of Texas.
How you doing there, ladies? Enjoying everything?
How you feeling, Elena? I'm okay. Maybe a little hungover. I wanted to tell you, I know what happened today. You do? I saw the beer bottles on the bar. Well, Billy Joe... I know it wasn't your fault getting tipsy like that. It was wrong for Billy Joe to give them to you and then have you falling down the stairs like that. I'm so ashamed of him giving you beers like that. I mean, I wanted him so bad just to act right. But sometimes he just doesn't have any good sense. I hope you won't go telling your folks. I know me and him would get in trouble with Maggie if you did. Well, I need this job. Oh, Nita, I wouldn't say anything to anybody. You've been good to me, and I don't want to get you in any trouble. Oh, sweetie, thank you. Thanks a lot. Well, now there's your big brother.